Beberapa bakteri dapat hidup tanpa adanya oksigen karena bakteri-bakteri tersebut dapat mereduksi garam-garam nitrat atau senyawa-senyawa lain. Bakteri mampu mereduksi nitrat menjadi nitrit atau amonia. Mikrotip, mikropipet, ose bulat, dan lampu bunsen. Sedangkan bahan-bahannya meliputi biakan Streptococcus thermophilus, Escherichia coli, Bacillus subtilis, alkohol 70%, tisu, asam sulfanilat, dan alfa-naftilamin, serta media natrium broth. Prosedur kerja reduksi nitrat yaitu: pertama, sterilkan meja kerja menggunakan alkohol 70%, kemudian lap dengan tisu. Kedua, nyalakan lampu bunsen. Ketiga, sterilkan tangan menggunakan alkohol 70%. Lalu, sterilkan ujung ose di atas lampu bunsen hingga berwarna merah menyala. Kemudian, ambil biakan bakteri Bacillus subtilis, lalu buka penutupnya dan panaskan ujung tabung reaksi. Ambil biakan sebanyak 1 ose, lalu masukkan ke dalam media natrium broth. Lakukan hal yang sama untuk biakan Streptococcus thermophilus dan Escherichia coli, lalu inkubasi biakan pada inkubator dengan suhu 37 derajat Celcius selama 2 hari. Setelah diinkubasi, tambahkan larutan asam sulfanilat sebanyak 1 ml, lalu tambahkan larutan alfa-naftilamin sebanyak 1 ml, lalu gojok dan amati perubahan yang terjadi.
The IMVIC test, this is the methyl red test portion of it. This is testing for the ability of the bacteria to ferment glucose and produce large amounts of acid. So we have 2 different tubes here. To each one I need to add 5 drops of the methyl red. So the first tube I have is the Proteus vulgaris organism. We had nice growth after 24 hours, so these were inoculated yesterday. We add 5 drops of the methyl red. We will let this sit for a moment. And then to the other tube, which is Enterobacter aerogenes, we are adding 5 drops of methyl red to it as well. Sometimes you may have to add a few more drops to it. You may have to let it sit for a moment. Okay, this was the methyl red test after it has been sitting for about 5 minutes. As you can see, the tube, which is on your left, is a positive. You can see it has that redness to the top layer, versus the tube on the right, which has remained yellow, which would be a negative. So red is positive, remaining yellow is a negative result. Okay, the next test that we're going to do is the VP Vox-Prosker test. Usually the media is the same as the MR, so you need to remember whenever you inoculate, usually MR-VP goes together, which means you need to have 2 tubes, one for the methyl red, one for the VP or Vox-Prosker. For this one we're going to add reagents. There are 2 different reagents, an A and a B. And so with these, there's a little glass tube in here. If you just push it, you can hear that it breaks it. And then you will add about 10 drops. Squeeze the tube. That is the A. I'm going to go ahead. This is Enterobacter aerogenes. The other tube is Proteus vulgaris. And I will add about 10 drops of the VPA reagent to that as well. Now you will add the reagent B. Once again, just kind of squeeze it. That will pop the glass ampule on the inside. once again, about 10 drops. Add this to each one of the tubes. We are looking for a color change up on the top. If it turns red, it is positive. If it remains yellow, it is negative. And yes, sometimes we need to let these sit for a little bit longer for the reaction to take place. So we'll set those aside and look at them later.